Look, man, if there's one thing in life that has the power to drag you down to the depths of your lowest states of existence, it's none other than your karmic debts. Yes, sir, let me say that again. If there's one thing in this life that has the power and the capability to drag you down to your lowest states of existence, it's none other than your karmic debts. Now, you might be wondering, well, what the fuck even are karmic debts? How did I get them and how can I get rid of them? Well, relax. Because your boy's about to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. All right, man. So if you do not know the whole concept of karma, it's a universal law. It's not just in this tradition and that tradition. It's a universal law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And karma could be either quote unquote good or quote unquote bad. But within this whole concept of karmic debts, this brings us into the whole Vedic philosophy that breaks it down like no other. See, within the Vedic philosophy, they have the concepts of past lives. They have the concepts of reincarnation. They have the concepts of your genetic lineage, literally your genetic lineage, passing on traumas, passing on psychological imprints, passing on certain characteristic traits that are acting as dead weight for you to ascend within this lifetime, for you to actually become the best version of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. And you can pick and choose which one works for you. Is it reincarnation? Is it generational curses? Is it the past lives? Whatever it is. Don't focus so much on the structure of it. Focus on the message as I break this down. As you kind of progress, as your soul progresses, if you want to call it that, through different stages of incarnations, it picks up certain karmas that are almost imprinted on its consciousness. Because if we take away the body, we take away the mind, we are the spirit, the soul, the pure consciousness that exists beyond the physical realm, that exists before birth, and will exist after our death. Every spiritual practice, spiritual tradition understands that. We are not just a mind and body. This is just a mitsu, a character, an avatar for the time being. But that consciousness stays and resides beyond that. However, the physical world affects that consciousness on a deep, deep level. These are what the Vedics call samskaras, vrittis, and vasanas. Psychological impressions. You have certain characteristic traits that are almost like embedded within your overall being, as well as attachments. You have no idea why you have these attachments. You ever wonder why you just love this one thing so much and just can't let go of it? It's probably because of these samskaras, vrittis, and vasanas from past lives, passed on from your genetic lineage, your ancestors, your DNA, whatever it is. I don't care how you believe it. This is just a truth that is kind of packaged in this way that I understand it, that I can break it down for you in a more simple and practical term. So all these types of things act as, again, dead weight. And you might be wondering, well, how does it do that? Well, as you go about life and you notice certain things that you just gravitated towards, even though you know it's bad for you, even though you know it's not good for your overall evolution on the mental, physical, and spiritual realm, this is because you're attached to them somehow, in somehow, shape, way, and form through your consciousness. And those karmic debts can literally dictate your life and hijack your life to the point where you are not in control anymore. To the point where you are just a passenger within your life. A karmic debt could be you're so attached to food, to that sensory pleasure of tasting good food. Is that a bad thing? No, but if it's so attached to that point, you're going to become immersed in a life where all you care about is serving that pleasure, serving your senses, serving your lower states of existence. Again, I've talked about this so much on this channel. The yogis know how to break it down like no other, man. The three lower worlds, the three lower planes of consciousness. Survival, food, water, shelter. The next one is sex, and the other one is status. If you're living in a state of mind where your karmic debts are pushing you towards only fulfilling those desires, you're never going to experience the higher worlds, the heart, the throat, be able to create, intuition, third eye, crown chakra, bliss, true divine bliss. You're never going to be able to understand what that is. You're never going to be able to experience what that is, because your life is being dictated by these karmic debts. And funny enough, you think that if you continue to play into these karmic debts, they will disappear. No, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Those impressions, those samskaras, those vrittis and vasanas get bigger and stronger within your psyche. The more you indulge in pornography, the more you indulge in sexual degeneracy, the more you indulge in junk food, the more you indulge in all these habits that are not quote unquote evil or anything like that, but they're just not congruent towards your actual purpose and direction in life, the stronger that hold gets to you. It's almost like this. I always like to bring this kind of example from Sigmund Freud. He said that the external pull of society, or whatever you want to call it, of your own external pleasures, is like the sun, and we are the earth. However, the earth goes around the sun, right? Travels and orbits around the sun. But also the earth orbits around itself, has its own axis, or spins on its own axis. That pull to kind of indulge and gravitate towards those external pleasures, those lower pleasures, due to the pull of the karmic debt, and due to society essentially kind of putting all these things in place for it to be so easy to be able to indulge in porn, to be able to indulge in sexual degeneracy, to be able to indulge in junk food. It promotes that. That is essentially the earth being pulled closer and closer and closer and closer to the sun, to the point where it eventually burns up. Eventually just gets evaporated. The self becomes evaporated within the societal self, if you want to call it that. The hive mind. Where you're not a free thinker anymore. You don't have a real purpose in life. You're directionless. You just look towards society, and you look towards those external pleasures to kind of give you some sense of satisfaction. Yet it's all temporary, it's all illusion. You've burnt out the true self. You've burnt out the true understanding of who you are, what you were brought here to do. However, that pull or the spin of the axis on the earth on itself is much quote unquote weaker. However, the more you hone in on that through quote unquote burning your karmic debts, the more you start to understand who you are, what you were brought here to do, and what makes you truly fulfilled in life. What makes you truly satisfied in life? What truly makes your soul happy and joyous? Not just the senses, not just what society tells you, not just what your friends, family, and everybody else is doing, but what makes you truly fulfilled in life? What makes your heart sing, if you want to call it that? What makes your soul feel that sense of connection to everything? That's the dichotomy you're playing. The pull to the external, to the sun, is much stronger. It's much stronger. However, this is what the whole path of self-mastery is about. Being able to understand that you can go beyond just these senses, go beyond that pull, that external pull, that gravitational pull of the sun that's eventually going to burn you up. Another good example, Icarus. Have you ever heard of the story of Icarus? The guy who, him and his father were I think he was trying to get out of like a castle or something like that, and they built wings basically with candle wax and feathers. However, they finally escaped out of that thing. Icarus was getting too close to the sun while he was flying, and eventually all that candle wax burnt out, and he fell into the water, drowned, and died. That's symbolic of the self dying, the true self dying, your true purpose dying, your true identity dying. Take that into account, man, because your karmic debts are that. Your karmic debts are what pull you towards that. Your karmic debts are the urges, the temptations. You need to learn how to burn them. You might be wondering, how do I burn them? Okay, how do I burn them? Well, again, going back to the Vedic philosophy, the whole concept of even things like semen retention that we talk about on this channel, sexual transmutation that we talk about on this channel, is to generate a metaphysical form of heat that they call tapas. Tapas, look that up. Tapas. Tapas. That is a metaphysical source of heat that travels throughout your body when you practice these certain spiritual practices, which get you detached from the physical body. They get you detached from your physical senses and connect you closer and closer towards the source. Semen retention is an amplifier for that. It's not the end-all be-all, but things like pranayama, things like meditation, things like shadow work. Semen retention amplifies all that stuff, but those are like the core tenets of it, and those help semen retention itself. That's why within my ebook I talked about how these are like the core fundamental parts of the whole practice. You need to be able to meditate, you need to be able to do pranayama, you need to be able to do a spiritual practice, have something along those lines, of physical outlet, creative outlet. Those are needed if you truly want to practice retention for the true purpose of it, which is self-mastery. Again, on a metaphysical level, build these tapas up to be able to burn off your karmic debts, burn off those blocks of getting you towards your true core, getting you towards your true essence, that already knows the answers, that already knows your purpose, that already knows what you need to do within this lifetime. So all these practices of austerity, and that's essentially things where you're, even if you want to bring it into like simple terms, delayed gratification. You're not just feeding into your senses and your cravings. You're going beyond that. You're taming the mind. The mind right now for you, it might be in a sense where it's obeying the body. It's not obeying the soul. The mind is the mediator in between the two. The spirit is on the top, superior. The mind is in the middle. And then we got the body, the physical. If the body is able to truly dictate the mind, the soul, the spirit gets disconnected. That's your lower self speaking louder and louder and louder, while the volume of the higher self, the soul, getting lower and lower and lower to the point it's muted. And guess what? This is what society wants from you. This is what the whole world, the matrix, the Maya, the illusion wants from you. To be directionless, to only listen to the body, to only listen to the senses, because guess what? They can profit out of it. And when they can profit out of it, most importantly, they can keep you stuck within your lower states of consciousness, accumulating more karmic debts and more karmic debts, and getting closer and closer more to your animalistic state of mind, where they have control over you. You don't become a free thinker, a true person that knows their direction in life, that's walking with God, that's walking within alignment towards their true identity, not just what society tells them. This is dangerous. When you become like that, you become dangerous on a metaphysical sense. You might be weak, skinny, etc., etc. Hopefully you're not. You're getting in the gym, you're getting these gains. But guys, like, even if you want to bring it to people like Gandhi, weak, frail, old Indian man, burnt those tapas, burnt those karmic debts, understood his true purpose, became a divine vessel for God, dangerous, built up movements, built up true, powerful movements that cannot be replicated within this world right now, because everyone's so depleted, everyone's so directionless, everyone's so stuck within the Maya, the matrix, and the illusion. This is why you need to take this stuff seriously if you truly want to become the best version of yourself, whether that's semen retention, whether that's spiritual practices, whether that's psychological development, all the stuff that we talk about on this channel, the main channel, on the private Patreon community. Shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. If you haven't joined up yet, man, you're liking this type of knowledge, liking this type of wisdom, you're truly a fraud, and you're doing yourself a disfavor, man. You're truly doing yourself a disfavor if you like this type of content and you actually connect and resonate all the stuff I'm saying, because within there you get access to exclusive videos. We get deeper into this stuff. We open up the ancient texts, we open up the ancient books, we dissect and break things down into pure detail, man. Along with that, you'll be able to get full, in-depth occult lectures, as well as full guides, how-to guides for many different things. And most importantly, if you tap into the highest membership tier, the Philosopher's Circle, you get access to our 2 monthly mastermind live calls, where we hop on a call with me and everybody else within the private inner circle group chat and discuss all these things. Because again, man, you might be listening to this, you might be like, man, he's right, he's this, he's that. And again, I'm not making any of this stuff up. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just kind of repackaging ancient wisdom and helping the modern man out to be able to understand it in a more practical sense. But if you understand this stuff and then you go back into your day-to-day life, and guess what? Your friends from high school, your friends from this place, from that place, from college aren't on the same path. Your environment really does shape your path in life on a deeper level that you might not understand. You might be super disciplined, you might be super understanding and super smart and intelligent with these types of topics, yet the environment around you is not congruent to that. It's not in alignment to that. And then you go back into your old ways, because the evolutionary trait of humans, we are social creatures by nature. When you're around a tribe, a clan, a overall community, you're going to adopt that mindset, even if it's not congruent with your own individual mindset. That's why you need to be around communities of like-minded men if you're truly serious about accelerating on this path. And the monthly masterminds, the Philosopher's Circle, is one of the best ways to do that, man. I've been enjoying it so much, man. All the members have been loving it thus far, man, and we're only going to get better and improve upon that. So if you're truly interested in all that good stuff and joining the private Patreon community, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video, because also within the pinned comment of this video, you'll be able to find other services and other things that can help you out along this journey, whether that's application forms to work one-on-one with me in personalized coaching, book a one-time one-on-one consultation call, free community Discord server, free weekly newsletters, all that good stuff. Pinned comment of this video, man. Don't be a fraud. If you truly want to elevate, invest in yourself, invest into your evolution. But what I was saying is, all these types of things that we talk about on this channel, main channel, the private Patreon community with the guys I work one-on-one with, consultation calls, all that good stuff, is all tools and all like a kind of guide points to killing off these karmic debts. Think about it almost, in the form of debts. How can you truly stack up money, truly become wealthy, truly become rich, when you always have student loans, when you have debts, when you have this, when you have that, draining your bank account? And the interest level gets more and more and more and more. Again, like we just said, the more you feed into these karmic debts, the more the interest raise up. And the more you deplete yourself, the more you get disconnected from the higher self. You need to stop falling as a fool for these karmic debts. See them for what they are. Understand that, man, I'm just quote unquote addicted to this because it's kind of like ingrained within my psyche. It's ingrained within my day-to-day life. It might be through my past life, it may be through my genetic lineage, it may be through my DNA, but whatever it is, these are psychological imprints. And I need to scrub my own psyche clean through these types of practices. This is why you practice retention. This is why you practice these spiritual philosophies, is to purify the mind, which eventually takes back control of the body and connects you back to the soul. When the mind is polluted from all the programming that you've had, from all the karmic debts that you had, you can never truly take back control of your life. You're always being dictated by something and someone else. It feels like you're being hijacked, pulled this way, pulled that way. Never truly understanding where's your own direction in life. Never truly understanding what it is that you were really brought here to do. Yeah, you might have a job. Yeah, you might have a degree. Yeah, you might be in school. But what is it past that on a deeper spiritual level? Again, like I said, the consciousness, the pure state of consciousness exists before you were even born within this incarnation and will extend on and live out after this physical death. What is that truly here to do? Why were you gifted with this specific body, this specific mind, and this specific circumstance that you're living in this place, born in this family, etc.? That's not all coincidence, man. Everything happens for a reason. If you truly believe in a higher power, you understand that the higher power does not make mistakes. God does not make mistakes. The universe always has a reason for things. Uncover your reason, and you already know the reason. But again, karmic debts are blocking you from that. Think of it almost like you're trying to drive to a amazing viewpoint or just like very like scenic area. Yet you're driving on the freeway and there's construction, blockage. Cops are out. They're like, okay, you can't go here. Go backwards. You go backwards towards your old self, your old ways, your old nonsensical illusions of these degenerate habits. those blockages along the way, and there's only one, you might be able to get past one, but there's another one after that. Those are the karmic debts. Those are the blockages holding you back from truly tapping into that inner state of consciousness, which is the that viewpoint, that scenic area that you want to go, that beautiful area that you want to go, that beautiful state of mind that your soul yearns for. It's there. It's always there. It's always waiting for you. But you've had these things blocking it. And every time you hit it and you just think, oh man, I'm just going to fall back into my old ways, you further put yourself backwards. You go backwards towards your house, go backwards towards your old ways, your old town, and just indulge in that nonsense again. And then it makes you less likely to want to go and travel out to the next time. You get comfortable in that little zone. The path of least resistance. This biological makeup that we have is just literally wired like that, man. That's why all these yogis, these sages, these saints, all the esoteric and occult mystics, they understand the concept of spirituality, the concept of becoming your best self, the concept of, most importantly, self-mastery is about ascending and transcending beyond the lower levels of consciousness. You have access to all the things that you want already within you, but you need the tools to get you there. And that's why they have the tools such as retention, such as spiritual practices, pranayamas, meditations, shadow work, etc., etc., etc. Everything that we talk about on this channel, on the main channel, with the people I work with one-on-one, with all the group members in the private Patreon community. All this stuff, again, are tools at the end of the day. They aren't the end-all, be-all. You need to apply them to be able to, when you hit that roadblock and these cops are telling you, hey man, you got to go back, you just run right through them. Run right through them, run through the barricade, and keep moving on. Or better yet, the tools give you another outlet, another detour. You exit off this freeway and you get onto the side streets and you get back onto the freeway and you go past that block, but you're eventually going to meet another block and another block. These are the tools to help you uncover and dismantle those blocks so you can continue keep on elevating. If you do not, your karmic debts are always going to dictate your life. There's always going to dictate, again, you pull up to that place, all the cops, all the blockades are there. That's dictating where you want to go in life. You don't want to go back home. You don't want to go back to your old ways. But these karmic debts are there telling you you can't keep ascending. But again, it's an illusion. It's temporary. You just think that that's what it is. You just got to put in the work, the inner work that will get you to that point, or you're always going to be stuck in that cycle of wanting to get better, going back to your old ways. If you want to bring this into another kind of analogy that you might understand is when you're trying to practice retention, you get a good streak building up, you push into those karmic debts, you go back, you relapse over and over and over and over and over again because you're not in control still. You believe these karmic debts, you believe all these conscious kind of like psychological imprints are the things that are controlling your life. You have to go beyond the senses, you have to go beyond the body, you have to go beyond the mind even. How can you control your mind with the mind? How can you control your body with just the body? You have to control it with something that's superior than all. The spirit, the soul. Someone asked me that within one of my latest videos on this channel, how I said, retaining your seed makes you a rare breed. They're talking about, yeah, man, this is all great, but you have to be able to first go past all these degenerate habits before you do the spiritual practice. I said, hell no, but no way. The spiritual practice is what allows you to get past these degenerate things. You're going to rely on the mind to control the mind, a polluted mind to finally scrub itself out. How? You're gonna expect the body that's just kind of designed to go to this path of least resistance because you've programmed the mind to always go to these degenerate habits to actually just ascend above its own self? No, you have to use the spirit, the soul, what's superior, what's above it, beyond it, to be able to bring it down and then scrub everything out. Without the spiritual connection, you're never going to be able to truly ascend towards your highest potential in life. That's why I always talk about self-improvement is kind of a scam. It's kind of nonsense. It's just a prerequisite. If you truly want to ascend to your highest self, you need to delve into self-mastery, which involves philosophy, spirituality, true things that are all on this path of actually embodying what it means to master the mind, master the body, and awaken the soul. Just going to the gym ain't enough. Just reading books ain't enough. Just meditating ain't enough. You need to dive into the science and the nature of the soul. And that's only access from within. And that's only access from within, but when you use these tools to destroy and dismantle and dissolve your karmic debts. So you can finally ascend towards that potential that you've always known that you were meant to brought here for. Again, you were not brought here for no reason. You were not brought here in this time period for no reason. You were not incarnated on this time period with this body, with that type of mind, with this type of circumstances for no fucking reason. It ain't a joke, it ain't a game. But at the same time, it is a game and it is a joke. Hopefully you can pick up what I'm trying to say with that, man. But for the people that do, who know what I'm trying to say, know what I'm trying to say. They picking up what the fuck I'm putting down with that. Life is a game and a joke. But also you can't take it as a game and a joke at the same time. But you also need to at the same time. Hopefully I'm not frying you guys out and make you think I'm schizo, but you just gotta maybe get some more experience in life to really let that click. Let that click. Let that understand. Let that marinate in your mind. But all in all, man, you need to extend your levels of consciousness past the mind, past the body. And one of the most beneficial ways of doing this stuff to me is just austerities are essentially like aesthetic practices, fasting, semen retention. Not letting the mind not letting the body dictate the mind. Say, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z because I said I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be watching porn because I'm saying I don't want to do it. I'm not going to eat this junk food because I'm saying I'm not going to do it. Not because the body is telling me to go and do it, because you're going to get tempted. Yet you build up that willpower muscle, those intuitive muscles, every time you kind of neglect that. You kind of transcend beyond that. Again, it's just not about totally deteriorating our body to the point where I'm not eating anymore because I want to have control over my mind. That's not beneficial. But it's getting to the point where you are the one controlling the mind, choosing where the mind goes, regardless of the bodily temptations, regardless of the external world. All your attention is focused inward, rather than looking for things outwardly, chasing pleasures externally. That's how you truly start to dissolve these karmic debts. Because again, these karmic debts are revolving around the external world. You're that earth. The sun is right here. Those are the external pleasures. That pull towards the external pleasures is always going to be there. It's going to pull you in so much that you burn up the self. And again, what I mean by that is you have no direction in life. You have no connection to your higher self. You have no connection to the ultimate self that knows what you need to do. You're just a slave to the senses, to the matrix, to the Maya, to the illusion. That's when you continue to look externally for things. But when you pull that energy and attention inwardly and you spin around your own axis like the earth does, guess what? That's when you unlock your true path in life, your true powers in life, your true understanding in life. And hopefully this channel, the main channel, if you're in the private Patreon community, or if you're trying to join up after this, or you're trying to book a one-on-one consultation call, apply for my personalized coaching, my goal is to give you guys the tools to be able to break out of those chains of the external pull and bring you back into alignment with the axis that spins around yourself. I don't know your true purpose in life. I don't know what you were brought here to do. I don't know what the universe made you to do, but I do know it was for a reason. And I do know how to get the consciousness, your state of consciousness, out of the shackles of society pulling you towards the external pleasures, external validation, external just attention. I know how to break those shackles because I've slowly and surely been doing it with myself. And these tools right here are all for that. We're not doing semen retention just to be able to say we're doing semen retention. We're not doing this spiritual practice just to be able to say we meditate. It's for a reason, and a much bigger reason than just physical vitality, mental clarity, etc. Those are some good assets that you have, but for the main goal, you need the mental clarity, you need the physical vitality, you need all that stuff to burn off karmic debts and get towards your purpose. That's what we're really working towards, man. A bigger goal, a bigger picture. Because with a strong enough why, a man will find any how. That's a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. with a strong enough why, a man will find any how. When your why is strong enough of why you're pursuing almost like the opposite direction and going against the grain of society of the majority of the population of the world, it doesn't matter. And they're not going to be so easy to be able to have that community, that tribe, pull you back into your old ways, even though you know it's not beneficial for you, even though you know that you don't want to partake in this type of stuff. That's good for them. Maybe they're not good. These people are not supposed to be awakened within this timeline. Totally fine. You can't force anything. Some people want to indulge in this life of mediocrity, and to you, they think that you're crazy, enjoying a life of mediocrity. But you understand on a deep level, when the soul is awakened, you already are successful. That's the highest form of success. Everything in the physical world will fall into line once you tap in with that. Everything will catch up. I promise you, I assure you that. Everything will catch up. The timeline will catch up. But again, the spiritual is the highest. The physical cannot oversee the spiritual. Once you tap into that, the physical not only has to just fall in line with it, fall in that same direction, but eventually will bring all the rewards, all the things that you're looking for. And you're going to be so detached from it, and you're going to be like, wow, my life is amazing regardless of this and that. Because I truly know my mission in life. I truly feel fulfilled in life. I truly feel like I'm actually walking in alignment with my highest self, in union with God. God is using me as a vessel. I'm not just letting the animalistic lower side of me use my body, use my mind to indulge in just nonsensical things that are illusions. So there it is, man. Do not let karmic debts dictate your fucking life. If you do, you're always going to be on this hamster wheel. You're always going to be spinning around this cycle of samsara. You're always going to let consumerism and carnality, like I talked about before, just spin you around like you're in a fucking washing machine. You're on the spin cycle. Non-fucking stop. From this thing to this thing to this thing, yet you never truly feel fulfilled in life. Because your soul is yearning for something bigger and better. And I'm telling you right now, what's in between you right now and that state of fulfillment is those karmic debts. And you need those tapas, those metaphysical sources of heat through these practices, through the path of self-mastery, to burn through them and get to the point that you always were meant to be at. Once you're in that point, man, everything else will fall into line. I assure you that. With all that said, man, it's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping out that game so you guys can make these games. I'm out of here. Peace.